If you're just joining us, we're Derek, Ashley, and Pete, and we're traveling Alaska in our Class B RV Risky. If you missed our last episode, you need to go back and check it out. We took on an epic 8.5-hour excursion through Kenai Fjords National Park and hiked right up to a glacier. It was an absolute bucket list experience. But today, the journey continues. We're making our way to the coastal town of Valdez, and the drive alone is packed with wild stops. We're starting in the bizarre and beautiful town of Whittier, heading up through Anchorage to chase the boar tide, taking Risky up the winding Hatcher Pass to a historical gold mine, and finally settling into Valdez for a few days of coastal trails, massive sea lions, and local breweries. Let's hit the road. Now, to get to Whittier by land, there's only one way in and one way out. The Anton Memorial Tunnel. At 2.5 miles long, it is the longest highway tunnel in North America. But here's the catch. It's only a single lane, and you have to share it with oncoming traffic and full-size trains. The direction of traffic switches on a strict schedule every hour, and it costs about $13 for a vehicle our size. Driving through the raw bedrock feels like passing through a portal into a secret world. And Whittier is unlike anywhere else on Earth. What you're looking at is the Baggage Towers. Almost the entire population of Whittier, around 300 people, lives inside this single building. It's an entire city under one roof, complete with a post office, a grocery store, a church, and a school connected by an underground tunnel. In the brutal Alaskan winters, residents can go months without ever needing to step outside. Just across town sits the stark contrast, the abandoned Buckner Building. Completed in 1953, this massive concrete structure was built as a Cold War military facility and was once the largest building in Alaska. But after the devastating 1964 earthquake, it was completely abandoned. Today it stands on the cliffside like an eerie post-apocalyptic monument. After leaving Whittier, we scored an incredible boondocking spot right on Portage Lake. If you're traveling in an RV, finding a spot near the water with glacial views like this is the ultimate Alaskan dream. And waking up here is just unreal. Driving along the Turnagain Arm towards Anchorage, we pulled over to chase one of nature's rarest phenomenons, the boar tide. This happens when a super low tide and a super high tide literally crash into each other in the narrow, shallow channel of Turnagain Arm. It creates a literal wall of water that rushes in twice a day at speeds anywhere from 6 to 24 miles per hour. The wave can be anywhere from a few inches to 6 feet tall, all depending on the moon cycle. And yes, the water is freezing and full of glacial silt. But that doesn't stop the hardcore Alaskan surfers from riding this endless wave for miles. Now here's the ultimate pro tip if you want to see this in person, and we picked this up as we were there. Because the wave travels up the arm, you can pull off at one of the earlier viewpoints, watch the wave crash past you, and then literally jump back in your car, drive a few miles up the Seward Highway, and watch the exact same wave come in all over again farther up the inlet. Now, when you're in Anchorage, you have to stop at Moose's Tooth Pub and Pizzeria. Fun fact, this is routinely ranked as the highest grossing single unit pizza restaurant in the entire United States. The hype is real, and the parking lot is always packed. Get there early, expect to wait, and order a pizza with their famous spicy Diablo sauce. A couple days later, when we left Anchorage, we took Risky up to Palmer to tackle Hatcher Pass. We drove in from the west entrance, taking the road all the way up to the mine before heading down into Palmer. This is a winding, steep, and absolutely breathtaking alpine corridor. The road snakes its way up to about 3,800 feet in elevation. Now keep in mind, the upper gravel portion of this pass is strictly seasonal. It usually opens from early July to late September, all depending on the snow. But navigating an RV through these sweeping glacier-carved valleys is an unforgettable drive. Just be sure to check the length limits, because some of these switchbacks can be pretty tight. Right near the top of the pass is Summit Lake. It's a brilliant turquoise glacial bowl that stays frozen for a massive chunk of the year. It's the perfect place to pull over and just take in the scale of the Talkeetna Mountains. At the summit of the pass, we pulled into the Independence Mine State Historical Park. Back in 1906, Robert Lee Hatcher staked the first hard rock gold claim here. And by 1941, this was the largest producing mine in the district. It was a booming operation employing over 200 men who lived right here in the freezing alpine tundra. They blasted dozens of tunnels deep into the granite and pulled out over 34,000 ounces of gold. Gold mining here came to a halt during World War II, but today for a $5 parking fee, you can walk right among the decaying historic buildings of the mining camps. Seeing the massive footprint of this ghost town nestled right into the mountainside really puts into perspective how tough those miners had to be. Continuing our route east, we pass Matanuska Glacier. At 27 miles long, it is the largest glacier in the United States that you can access by car. You can see its massive ice fall right from the highway for free, but if you want to actually walk on the ice, you do need to book a guided tour, and that runs around $150 per person. We finally made our way down to the coast and into Valdez, and our very first stop was the Solomon Gulch Hatchery. If you want to see the wild Alaskan food chain in absolute overdrive, you have to come here in mid to late summer. Built in 1981 by the Valdez Fisheries Development Association, this facility was designed to ensure the survival of the local salmon population. They release hundreds of millions of pink and coho salmon fry into the ocean. When those salmon mature and follow their instincts back to this exact spot to spawn, the water turns literally black with fish. It's a massive thrashing traffic jam of salmon trying to swim up the fish ladders. And where there's that many fish, the predators follow. We stood here for hours watching massive Steller sea lions just gorge themselves. They don't even have to hunt. They just swim through the dense schools of fish and feast. You also see seals, otters, bald eagles, and bears all taking advantage of the buffet. It's completely free to visit. There's a walking path right along the water, and it is National Geographic level of wild. We actually came back on a sunnier day, and you can see a worker actively having to clear the sheer volume of fish off the metal weirs. The instinct of these salmon have to push upstream is just unstoppable, and the hatchery staff has to manage the flow so the facility isn't completely overrun. We were ready to stretch our legs, so we headed over to Dock Point Trail. Pete was incredibly stoked about this trailhead because it features a dog stick library. You can borrow a prime stick for your hike and return it when you're done. Just a brilliant community idea. After the last 2 days of nothing but fog and gloominess, we woke up this morning here in Valdez and it's completely clear skies.
Short sleeve shirt.
We get to see all of the mountains surrounding this beautiful area, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. We are so excited to actually start exploring a little bit. It's beautiful even on its own, like with the fog and everything coming through, but we could not see far at all. It was terrible. But now we're gonna start exploring a little bit of the town, maybe hit up some breweries, try some food, and just taking these awesome views. This trail is a perfect, easy loop that takes you right out onto a peninsula, offering killer views of the harbor, the salt marshes, and the surrounding Chugach Mountains.
So we're doing this little hike here, and all the little signs that you stop and read to learn about stuff, they're all about how you can die here. The first one was, they call it wild celery, but I know it as poisonous hemlock. They're like, don't touch it, scabs, blisters, blah, blah, blah. Then, what was the other one? This fast one was, the red berries. Red berries, poisonous, you're gonna die. Then is there another one? Yeah. The other one was mushrooms. Poisonous, you're gonna die. Here's another one. Beware. Do not touch this plant. This is like a good October walk. We should be doing this during Halloween. Everywhere you look, you could die.
Doing a nice little dog-friendly, easy hike at the Dock Point Trail. It was like right downtown Valdez, so after this, we're gonna go hit up the downtown area, check out some boats, grab some grub, and have some drinks. Now here's our first stop for food, the Fat Mermaid. Right near the harbor, this place is an absolute staple in the Valdez community. Famous for its laid-back port town vibe, its carved wooden statues out front, and the panoramic views of the fjords right from your table. We loaded up on pizza and an incredible seafood dip. Now our hike wasn't that long, but it was definitely helping us out with recovery. Next, we hit up Growler Bay Brewing Company. This nano brewery is actually located in a historic old town building that miraculously survived the Great Alaskan Earthquake of 1964. They named it Growler Bay after the bay near the Columbia Glacier, where small icebergs, known as growlers, float in the water. Incredible beer and totally dog-friendly.
Alright, this is going to be our first ASMR video. You get to hear me eat. It's so good. This is a smothered burrito. Brewery you can order from Locos Gringos, which means awesome white people. I said table 4. And I'm only complaining because she came in and goes, Ashley, and then the whole place stopped and got quiet and looked around, and it was awkward for me. I said table 4, she didn't even try. She just walked in and saying, Ashley, like me. It's stupid. Nothing's wrong. They're fine. There's nothing to complain about. It's just an introvert problem. Just me. I look a little teary-eyed because I had a spicy burrito. I had a smothered white queso burrito. Chef's kiss. It was amazing. This place, super quaint, so cute. This was built in 1910, this house, and it was relocated to New Valdez. It was Valdez because it was named off of a Mexican explorer. But an earthquake happened, and then a tsunami happened, and they had to move the whole town inward to a new location. And the locals didn't want to be associated with a Hispanic name after the Mexican-American War, so now they call it Valdez instead of Valdez. And as someone coming into a new place, I will call it Valdez, but in the back of my head, I'm like, that's stupid, it's Valdez. Because I took Spanish for 2 years. But either way, you respect the place you're at, and you respect the burrito that they provide to you, and you eat the heck out of it, because it's amazing. That is the moral of the story.
We capped off the town tour at Valdez Brewing. Opening in 2019, the old Prospector Outfitters building on Brewery Row, this was actually the first craft brewery in Valdez. They brew all their beer using glacier-fed spring water right on their oversized 7-barrel system. They have a massive 2,000 square foot tap room, serve incredible house-made sodas if you aren't drinking, and just like Growler Bay, they welcome dogs inside. If you're traveling Alaska with a pet, Valdez is a fantastic welcoming town. Now, our drive into Valdez days ago was totally socked in by clouds, so we were beyond grateful to have clear bluebird skies for the drive out. This route takes you up the Richardson Highway, Alaska's very first highway, and through Thompson Pass, which is considered the snowiest place in the state during winter. The scale of these peaks towering over Risky is impossible to describe. We're leaving the coastal behind and pushing deep into the interior, making our way toward the largest national park in the country, Wrangell St. Elias. You're not going to want to miss this next one. We'll see you on the road.